everybody. Welcome to Jensen and the Dutch Kid podcast. I'm Jensen. This is the Dutch Kid.
And this is my
Please,
friend
don't
Jensen.
Don't scroll.
You can't scroll on on videos.
Don't swipe right.
This isn't Tinder.
No. Swipe left.
I'm here with my father again today. He hasn't been on in a total of 33 episodes. That's my fault. I should have put him on, 43 episodes. I should have put him on sooner, but I haven't thought of it. He hasn't been on in 2 years. But anyway, he's been wanting to do it, so Nicholas couldn't do it this week. But yeah, anyway, here he is. Here's the guy.
Back up.
So we're going to talk about our hiking trip that we went on yesterday, 5 minutes ago, actually. We just got back.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, it turned out to be a longer hiking trip. We're just going to go for a couple of hours.
I know. We were out there for a total of like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Way more than a couple.
Yeah, I know. It was like probably 3 hours and 2 or 3 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, hey, we just finished this hiking trip. We're gonna sprint home, and we're gonna set up the camera in record time. Write 3 topics in record time. Set up this green screen and this camera. I didn't even talk about.
It's not a green screen.
I know.
That's the Great Wall of China.
I know.
When we hike, we hike.
Yeah, we're from Boise, Idaho.
Boise.
We hiked here.
Yep.
In 3 hours.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. And so yeah, as you can see, we're here in the place of China. It's funny, we always start these videos in China, and you know, we can easily, anytime you feel it feels like there's like we need a change of scene, you know, we can always just be like, oh, how do we get where are we?
Tibet.
Oh,
We went a little
of
south.
course, yeah. So I didn't look backwards and
That's right.
forgot that we're
That's
in
right.
Tibet, and
You wanted to
had
be
to make
surprised.
sure I asked. Yeah, I closed my eyes all the way here during the hiking trip.
Well, that would explain why it's harder to breathe and it's cold.
Yes. But okay. Anyway, so let's talk about the beginning of our hiking trip. We were like, hey, let's go hiking. And, you know, again, we just really decide things quickly. We were there at the mountain in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, we went to, it's called Camel's Crevice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really weird that it's just a weird name. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't think of, we're looking around. We're like, why is this called Camel's Crevice? Was it Camel Crevice or Camel's Crevice?
It was both.
Well, oh, that's right. If you went right, it was camels. If you went left, it was camels.
Yes. Yes.
So, maybe that's why. Because
it's
yeah.
like it's camel humps.
Uh-huh.
But why didn't they just call it
Well, remember that there was the spot where that little kid fell down into that big crack in the ground. What are those called? Chasm?
Chasm? Yeah.
Camels. Oh, it's a crevice.
Camel's crevice. It's a crevice, yes.
I wonder how many kids are at the bottom of that.
I know I am. Sometimes. What? Nicholas is probably there.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Nicholas is probably there right now. That's where he's
He
been.
could be. Yeah.
That's
we'll
why.
have to throw him some food or something. No. There's
Why?
plenty of kids to eat.
I know. It's like they fall down there every day, therefore they starve. They die from starvation every day. And we all know Nicholas is the only child down there willing to eat the other children.
That's right. Yeah. Well, survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I mean.
And Nick, nobody's getting away from Nick if he gets his hands on him.
Exactly.
Especially like a 3 or 4 year old kid. You know, shit.
Kale does the same thing. Kale's even more ruthless with the kids. That's why we had to fish him out of there the other day.
I just got a picture of Kale and Nicholas running out of kids, and they're just chewing on each other's leg. They're like,
you should see how hairy their legs are. That's nasty.
Can you imagine getting hair in your teeth with a little calf muscle?
And Kale's ginger hair on his legs. Like, And you don't want hair in your mouth, let alone ginger hair.
That's right.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Especially ginger leg hair.
Yeah. Well, ginger's only good with sushi and then cookies at Christmas time.
You do not want to be eating that. And yeah, so we went hiking, and so the first thing we had to do was we went into this cave at the top of the right camel crevice.
Camel.
Yeah. No, that was camel's crevice.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So we went.
I was looking at it from the other side. So yeah.
We went into the cave, and holy cow, down there, guys! Oh my gosh, we found like a little trolls.
Yeah.
Down there, living down there.
Yeah.
They had these big wooden clubs.
Yeah. And crazy hair, and they all had pencils in their butts.
Why? Why did they do that? Why were you looking?
Well, it's hard to like they're running away from us. Like,
I wasn't looking at the pencils in their butts.
when they're running away from you. Plus, as they're running away, they're leaving little designs on the ground.
Oh, so it's the eraser side?
No, it's the lead side. They wouldn't put the lead side there.
No, it's the eraser side that's in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
or is it just like it created like a bigger, it widened the hole, so then it's like leaking out and drawing a little.
Yeah, that probably happens. Well, that's where the little pencil eraser covers the little troll pencil.
Oh, it came from that.
That's where it came from. Yeah.
Somebody went down there and was, why do all of these? Who put those in there?
Yeah.
Who put those pencils there?
We're doing ourselves. Where else are we going to put our pencils? We don't wear clothes.
And they have weird ears that they can't fit them behind.
No.
They have ears that go downward.
They're weird. Like dog ears, kind of?
Yeah, but then they're like pointy, like elf ears.
Yeah, but at the bottom.
Yeah. And then my question is, how do they get all those piercings?
I don't know.
Wait, the pencils. and then they put the piercings in there with the pencils. That's why it always gets infected, and they're half of them are missing ears because of where those pencils were being stored.
That's right. Yeah, hepatitis. It's rough. It's a rough life being one of those little trolls. How big would you say they are?
I would say, if they were that big, how's a pencil gonna fit up? It would be coming out their mouth.
True. Well, that's why when they were running away.
I thought they were about the size of Kale's leg.
I was thinking of the baby ones.
Oh yeah, no, the baby ones are little, and the pencils are.
They're little pencils. Baby ones, they're pretty cute. They're pretty cute, and they also eat the kids that fell down into the crevice.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah. How do they climb out of the crevice?
They use their.
They take their pencils out and
pole vault.
Pole vault.
They run backwards
and then tear it out.
Well, the more experienced ones just run as fast as they can backwards and then plant the pencil into the ground.
But if they're not careful, they're just like.
Yeah. There's some casualties in that sport.
And that's why sometimes you just see a big pile of brown sitting on the ground.
That used to be a troll.
like stained into the grass. And then usually it tends to happen right in the middle, so then it looks like the camel's crevice is like just another troll's butt. They've created a giant pencil that goes in the middle of camel's crevice.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like a shrine.
And it's got a big number 2 at the top. You can use that pencil to do your SAT test.
There's way too many trolls in college. It's weird.
Yeah.
But it's funny because once they run out of lead, they're fine because it keeps writing, just turns from gray to brown, right? They just keep writing, or like it's kind of like a mixture of gray and brown. It's like they get that like,
It's
and
brown.
it looks, yeah, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's like a nice shade.
That's a nice shade of ground. Yep.
In fact, here's the shade. Maybe.
Ground.
Brown.
Yep. Thank you, trolls.
Thank you, trolls, for giving us a new color.
Actually, it's Troll Appreciation Month.
It is.
So thank you, trolls.
So thank you, trolls. If I've heard you're supposed to deliver them pencils
That makes sense.
on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to be number two pencils.
They have to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you give them a number 3 pencil, oh my gosh, you should see it.
They wouldn't know what to do.
Or a mechanical pencil.
Oh my gosh.
Because then when they pull out, it's just like right up.
That's right. Splits them in two. It's not good. And that's not a good way to show appreciation to anybody, really. You don't want to be splitting people or creatures in two, especially during their month. So and no pens, especially fountain pen.
Oh, dude, you should see it. When they pull out, they bounce. They're like boing, and then they just land on the moon.
Yeah. Sometimes there's trolls on the moon. Those round Earth people are going to tell you that. That's where the creators came from. Trolls.
Yeah, trolls hit it so hard. In fact, they created a new Camel's Crevice. They call it Moon Camel's Crevice.
Moon Camel's Crevice.
And
MCC.
it's because it's like there's camels on the moon too. If you didn't know that.
Right.
Again, flat earthers or round earthers will tell you otherwise. But you know it because they're camels that have been spray painted gray like the moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Wake up, people.
Yeah, and the reason you've never seen them, NASA, just look on the other side. Everybody knows because there's a dark side and there's a light side, and the dark side we never see because it's always pointed away from us because for some reason that's how it works. I know there's a good reason, but NASA's the one. I'm not listening to them because they're the ones telling us we have a round Earth.
That's right. Yeah. All these satellite images. Come on. Everybody knows that the people in the 11 and 1200s had it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're kind of
We're way off track from
drifting off into historical type stuff.
We are actually. Maybe we'll be able to do that a little bit later.
Okay.
But okay. So actually, we found a pen, a previously used pen, and we were like, hey, you know what? These trolls are weirdos, but let's give it a shot. Let's bounce to the moon. So that's how we know that there's camels there, guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so we rode around on the camels. The dark side of the moon is very cold. Comes to turn out that that's not how you say that, but
comes to turn out. Yeah.
Yes, that's
where the pencils come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so actually, in fact, the only thing that I believe from NASA is the fact that they took pictures of us. We were like, hey, and they got it somehow, and then we were like,
yep, we did. I saw pictures of Uranus.
Mm-hmm. From NASA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, the trolls Uranus.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's a different kind of eclipse. A pencil. Anyway, let's get back to our
hiking.
A lot happened on this hiking trip.
Way too much.
So anyway, we got out past the trolls. They're cute. They really are. We didn't bring pencils to pay them homage when we went. Oh, but today I think was the first day of Troll Appreciation Month.
Yeah, and it's not the weekend until like Thursday. So.
Yeah, we're coming out. We end up deciding to come out of the troll cave,
mm-hmm.
and we decided to go the other direction, which was Camel Crevice.
Mm-hmm. Camel Crevice.
And on the other side was the opposite of the cave. And
it was a mound.
A mound.
But it's
with
like
no entrance.
Mm-hmm. But since how it works is like a cave goes inward really deep, the mound comes outward really far.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like there's this big, like, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and that was fairly uneventful. It was a really pretty area.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I wasn't going to say anything. You know, now that I think about it, I wonder if the trolls saw this big pencil shaped thing coming out of the ground, and they were like, "We need to stick that up our butts."
Which is actually also their motto.
Exactly.
That's on their flag
Yes,
with the number 2.
in brown.
That's right, of course. No,
Mhm.
ground.
Ground, like splattered kind
Uh-huh.
of. The guy that,
Their hairstyles, like because we mentioned their hair is crazy. It's like
yeah,
big,
yeah.
and that style of hair has kind of migrated outside of just the troll community and into on the other side of the crevice.
Mhm.
To the creatures there. What were those creatures on the other side?
Oh, so they're called fart lickers.
Fart lickers.
I didn't even. I was that slipped out, guys. Sorry. They're called
Lark thickers.
yes, and I'm really trying here. Sometimes they can be called far ladders, and so I said fart lickers,
Yeah.
just because we were just talking about the pencil thing,
Right.
And
Kind of sent our thoughts down one particular avenue.
mhm. But they have really long tongues, and that's why the entire troll cave isn't painted brown.
That's right.
Because
Because of
Yes.
their long tongues. Yes.
they use those, and their names can be. But they hate being stereotyped, guys. So
Right,
we
yeah,
need to.
yeah. Which is fair.
Well, yeah, it's
Mhm.
fair. Like I don't want to be.
Right.
I don't want to be stereotyped because we can both fly away with our ears.
That's right. Exactly. You judge a being by the content of their character,
And not by
not
their
by the
ears
length of their tongue
or their tongue.
or
Yeah.
what's up their butt. That's right.
Yeah.
Let
So
them, get to know them. That's important. But the fart lickers, what were they called again? Lart thickers?
lart fickers or far ladders.
Far ladders.
And they're called that because they build ladders far away.
They do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then they like.
Well, they don't have the ability to pole vault
Yeah.
like the trolls do.
Yeah. So they like what they'll do is they'll build the ladder in like 1,000 miles away from their house and then walk home.
Uh-huh.
They'll walk back every single day.
That's
It's crazy. Their work ethic is
bonkers.
uh-huh.
It is crazy. Like I wish I had just that much of their work ethic. Like it's just, I feel like I'm a pretty hard worker. Jensen
Yeah.
is. Jensen's for sure a hard worker.
Yeah.
But like to just get up and know, hey, I'm doing 1,000 miles today. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Like that and back.
And back, right? Yeah. Like and that's like then you sit down and have a half-hour lunch break, and then you're back. You're headed back home just to do it all over again the next day.
Yeah, they don't get paid that much either. Minimum wage.
Like, well, that's where the term climbing the corporate ladder came from.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
It came from the fart lickers, the far ladders.
Far ladder.
They hate being called the fart lickers.
Yeah, don't.
They
I
like
mean,
if you walk up to somebody, one of them, and you're like, "You fart licker, stop licking up all that troll crap." And they're like, "No, first off, not doing that, not stopping. Come on, I
Right.
barely get paid enough. I need a meal
Exactly.
every day. Come on."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
It's they deserve the respect. They work hard. And where do you think all of the world's ladders come from? Was there a ladder tree somewhere?
no,
That's stupid.
that's stupid. Except in Poland,
Poland.
the ladder
Yes.
tree in Poland.
It's the last one remaining.
Mm-hmm. It was the Lorax saved it actually.
Laterax. The Laterax.
The Laterax.
Which
yeah.
sounds the opposite of what you think, because you're thinking ladder and axe.
Yeah.
But no,
No.
that's just as
it's not a laxative either.
No.
It's not, that can get confusing. The trolls never need that. Honestly, if you're ever like, hey, I'm constipated, head to a troll. They'll teach you their ways.
Yep, they will. They will. Something's coming out of you. That's for sure. That's for sure. And probably right away.
Yes.
And who knows? Maybe you'll learn how to pole vault. With or without.
If you're lucky, if the troll is in a good mood, they'll teach you. They'll teach you everything.
Yeah. You just give them the respect they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
And
that's all they're looking for.
And yeah.
So make sure you remember to thank a troll.
Mm-hmm.
If you run into a troll, tell them thanks. Because that's where number 2 pencils come from.
And shake his hand. You got to give him the firmest handshake you've ever given. Sure. Otherwise, he will tackle you to the ground. He may be 2 feet tall, but he will tackle you and he will eat your nose.
Yeah. They do not like wussy handshakes. Right? They're not easily offended. I mean, you question their lifestyle, things like that. Yeah, whatever. But if you give them a wussy handshake, you're going down and you're leaving Troll Town without a nose.
and possibly without like a life or any number 2 pencil left over.
That's right. And you'll probably make a number 2 in your pens.
Okay, yeah, and then after all that we went home. And so our next...
that was 3 hours and 6, well, we've been filming for I don't know how long now, so it's a little over 3 hours ago.
Yeah, so, and then our next topic was written by you, so I'm going to let you take it away. It's the slang words.
Okay, yeah. So I've just thought about how slang words are kind of weird. And I have kind of a philosophy on things. But there are some slang words that have stayed around for a long time. Like it's acceptable and has been since like the 50s, maybe even longer, to say, cool, oh, that's really cool. And anybody can say it.
Unlike this podcast.
Yeah.
But like the trolls.
Like, yes. Yep.
This month.
At least for this month. That's right. And luckily, this is a short month. It's just that this month is the month that only has 23 days. So. Anybody of any age can say cool. Grandpas, little kids, teenagers. Anybody can go, yeah, that's really cool. And nobody's going to look at you sideways. So that's been one that's been able to stick around for a long time. But like groovy. Groovy was popular in the 60s, kind of hippie era. That kind of mid to late 60s. That's groovy, baby. Like that's something that nobody can say now and really be taken seriously. Like I know there are people that still say it. Oh, that's groovy. Whether they're saying it ironically or that's just what they choose to say. But it came and went. So, but I don't know. Do you have any theories on why that might be? On why some words might?
Not really. I think that it's just like people realize how stupid groovy is.
I agree. I never thought that was.
That was not a cool word. That was not a rad word.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
See, there's another one. Rad. Rad was big when I was a kid. Rad or radical. Most people said rad. And I still say it. It got popular when I was probably preteen to early teen age. And people my age I know still say it. But I've been told, mostly by his little brother, that nobody says that anymore. And if I want to be taken seriously, I shouldn't say rad. But I think except if I'm talking to my fellow Gen Xers, it's acceptable. But what do you think would happen if you started saying, oh, that's rad at school?
I'd get beat up.
Yeah.
40 times.
40
not
times.
40. Like 39. But maybe not beat up that many times. Maybe like 38. But I could definitely see myself losing a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Especially Nicholas. Like I may have already lost him to the troll the crevice, the camel's crevice.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace.
But I have not lost him as to the word rad yet.
Yeah. So Nicholas really hates the word rad. Huh?
I did use the word splendiferous today.
Splendiferous?
And said wowie zowie.
So. Think those are going to catch on?
Nope.
Nope.
You heard how stupid that is?
Well, what are words now that kids your age are saying? Is lit still a thing? No. See, that kind of leads me up to my next, one of my theories on that. I think that words like cool or neat's not always accepted, but I don't think it's something that's going to get you mocked, really, right? Oh, that's pretty neat. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's been a couple times where I've been like, oh, that's kind of neat, and people told me like, did you just say neat?
That's funny. So, but I mean, there are words I think that got popular, or at least were accepted by popular culture, and lasted because I think social media has changed things. Yeah, the information age, like everything gets spread and moves so quick. Mm-hmm. Like the whole that's lit fam thing was used. See, I'm not of the right age group to be able to see. Thank you for proving my point. Like that came and went really quick, and it doesn't matter even if that was still something cool to say.
All right, I'm done leaving.
Even if that was something that was still cool to say, I couldn't say it because I'm too old. I shouldn't say it. But it came and went really fast, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's because with social media, it just things get played out really quick. So, I mean, what do you think? Does that make sense to you?
I think so. I think I agree with that.
So, well, what are some words now? Like a cool song's a banger, right?
Mm-hmm. You might say that.
Is that something that's still?
Yeah, I think the one that has stayed the longest that I've noticed, that I think kind of is somewhat my generation in a way, is bro and bruh. I think I know they're interchanged a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. And bro's been around for a long time. I mean, so even people my age back in the day would say bruh. That was more of usually kind of like the surfer term. So people from California or Hawaii would say bruh. But I've said bro for a long time to like my buddies. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, how's it going, bro? So yeah, that one's kind of. In fact, I feel like that one kind of went out of style.
Really?
For a while, and then kind of resurged with maybe the your generation, or maybe millennials, younger millennials.
So we're going to talk about fake history now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I slipped out. Real history.
Real history.
Sometimes I get fake and real, the very opposite words mixed up. So we're going to talk about real things that happened in history, like I did with both my grandpa and Kale and Nicholas. But I think with my dad, it's going to go really well. Mm-hmm. And so, let's. I'll let you start with the history.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good. I will. Oh wow! All right.
I just found a
thumbtack.
On the ground. Somebody could have died.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
I hate it when that happens.
A lot of troll didn't step on it. That'd be bad.
You might sit on it.
You wouldn't feel it.
It's all numb down there.
That's right. So, well, I'm kind of a history buff. I know real history, and I know history. So,
like the Revolutionary War. World War I.
You believe that stuff? Really? World War I?
Are you kidding me?
When was World War Zero? Huh? Anyway, all the propaganda they're pushing on us, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. Be kind. Be tolerant. Love your neighbor. Like, believe what you want, honestly. As long as you're not hurting me or the people I love, you can believe what you want. Like, but there's truth out there.
So
Okay.
it hurts me when people tell me history that isn't real, physically and mentally. And so I want you to make sure you deal with them.
Deal. I've got some tricks up my sleeve. It's called deodorant. So anyway, so why don't we? Oh, I'm really familiar with the Egg-Yalamic Wars and the events that led up to the
I've only heard of that
Egg-Yalamic
a couple times,
Wars.
but
So
just because they're not teaching it in school, guys. They're trying to trick us all.
that's right. So it started with this. This is about 600 years ago, and there's some variations on exactly when it started and how it started, and the events that led up to it. But the Egg-Yalamic War refers to a region in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just boat people.
Mm-hmm.
And
They don't like that term.
No, they don't. They don't. So, well, they're gone now. They killed each other during the Egg-Yalamic War. So, yeah, that was they did not like to be called boat people. Mm-hmm. So they experts are still trying to figure out how 37 million people were just ended up setting adrift on a whole bunch of boats tethered together by those plastic things that hold six packs together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Holy
anyway,
cow!
yeah.
The poor seagulls and fish.
Seagulls. So it was beneficial for them, I will say, in that it did help them catch their food.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they're the ones who really developed and refined the art of dolphin culinary delights.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've had a good dolphin,
it comes
meal,
from their back fin, actually.
Yes.
But they can only use 1 square inch of each dolphin. So if you really want a big meal, just remember that you're the cause of 20 dolphin deaths.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because that tastes good, right?
Yeah. And the blowhole's poisonous, which can be said for most things. You want to keep your mouth off most blowholes. So that's just a rule of thumb in general. So if you ever find yourself around a blowhole, just don't put your mouth on it. So it refers to what the person or the being that possesses that blowhole does. They blow out of it. You are not supposed to blow into it or around it ever.
No.
And not just because it's poisonous, but because that's just weird.
It tickles.
As soon as somebody says, "Hey, that's a blowhole," your first instinct should not be to put your mouth on it. If that's your first reaction, like when you've heard me say blowhole the first time, you were thinking, huh. You just seek help. So the Egg-Yalamic.
Egg-Yalamic, I think.
Egg-Yalamic, that's right. Sorry, I
forget.
Well, it's one of those words that there's other words that are similar from different regions.
Like Egg-Yalamic and spinach. Those are 2 words that are
that's
just like...
right, exactly. And you remember it because Egg-Yalamic sounds like economic. Economic makes you think of greenbacks. Greenbacks make you think of green things. Spinach, Egg-Yalamics.
Exactly.
So, Egg-Yalamic, set adrift, middle of the Atlantic Ocean, 37 million people on 24 boats. And boy, could these guys make boats. Fortunately for them, because they built their 24 boats. 24?
24.
They built them and then got into the ocean right away.
And these were not like Titanic boats. These are like big boats. These are like canoes.
These were these kinds of boats.
Tethered together by 6-pack.
6-pack holders. Yes, exactly. And fortunately, I mean, this is probably one of the most peaceful cultures that has ever graced planet Earth. I was going to say walked planet Earth, but they didn't do a lot of walking. In fact,
they had really big arms, though.
Huge arms, pecs. They didn't have necks. It went from their ears to their shoulders.
Yes.
They were, but all of their legs were atrophied. In fact, toward the end of their civilization, they were just being born without legs. So
it was kind of funny.
Yeah, if you get a chance to look at Aegialamic,
like gorilla tag gorillas.
But they were really well balanced. They were like, well, where the name comes from, Aegialamics. They were egg-shaped.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts? Like,
not really. I'm just curious, like, how did they use the bathroom? How did they?
Well, their gigantic, massive arms, they could hold themselves up and just flip their little torsos out and think trolls without a pencil.
Okay. And that's actually how it started. He went, because the guy was blind, he pooped over the wrong edge into the ocean. Since it's like a missile coming out, hit somebody else in the eye, and pink eye and things. But
pink eye. That was the first documented case of pink eye.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire population had brown eyes, they think, just looking at DNA evidence and stuff that they're recently discovering. So, well, we know that one guy at least had a brown eye. So,
well, the guy that shot the missile, and then the guy that got hit, both had brown eyes.
At least one. So the guy who fired that first shot was known as the shot heard round the boat colony. His name was Aegialamidas.
He was actually the great grandson of the 5th descendant to the trolls, twice removed, and then was like the second cousin of the
trolls podiatrist.
Yeah, you're the podiatrist of the trolls, really?
Well, that's for another day.
Oh, dang it!
Sorry.
How do I not know my own dad's occupation?
Well, I mean, I've had a event-filled, packed life. I've done a lot of stuff. Aegialamidas,
I think his name was, yeah.
Aegialamidas, yes. So he was actually, we think, a pretty good guy. Records are sparse because they didn't have a lot of, so they would just carve, things into the wood with their rudimentary language that they had on their alphabet. They would just carve into their boats. So, in their 24 boats, basically told the story. Not all of the boats have been recovered.
It's like
somewhere at the bottom.
In fact, speaking of, the Titanic was fake. I just want you all to know. The ruins down there are the boats.
That's right.
Yeah. Connected by 6-packs. You know what else is a 6-pack holder?
Look, now I'm a 6-pack holder.
This is a 6-pack holder right there.
This is a keg.
This is a 6 keg.
So Aegialamidas fired the first shot. The shot heard round the boat colony. Gave Aegidamananato.
Yeah, Aegidamananato. How do you spell that? E-G-G-Y or E-G-G-I-E?
Y.
Denominator?
We'll call him Aggie D. That's what he went by in the streets. Well, not the streets, of course. Boat colony. They did have, they think, their boats separated and segmented into like regions or districts. So AED was his street name, and he was a really good rapper. They found some of his rhymes. He could spit fire. Is that still a cool thing to say?
Yeah, either that or bars.
Spitting bars.
I might say.
Yep, spitting bars. There were no bars though.
No, and they weren't invented yet. The first one was invented by Iggy
Yay. Anyway, we don't spit bars or fire with saliva. That's about where our spitting. That's as far as it goes.
I'm good at that one though.
So the missile heard round the boat colony.
The shot,
but
it was a missile.
It was a missile.
It was like a missile.
Like a missile.
In fact, that's where the word missile came from, was because missiles can almost match the speed that turd hit.
Yeah. Well, because the first one missed his eye. So missile.
Missile.
And this second shot doesn't, is what AGD said. If this second shot doesn't miss, I'll get you. Missile.
Yeah.
We're learning all kinds of crazy stuff.
I know.
It's funny how this is stirring up all this knowledge I just have crammed into my head. And as we go, let's start getting down into the etymology of, not entomology, plants. That's for another podcast. Etymology, word origin.
Now, just curious, I know this is a known fact that you know. How much could each of the agonomic people, how much could they bench?
They estimate, because some of the bigger citizens of the community, despite not having legs, were 7.5 feet tall. So think about this. There's 37 million of them on 24 boats.
And 24 canoes.
Right.
And they're each 7 feet tall.
So it's some of them, the big ones. The big ones. So the
average,
average,
what's the average?
Average was about 6'2".
Oh, okay.
So from basically imagine from the bottom of your butt cheeks to the top of your head. So they were big. So they're estimating the bigger ones could bench press easily 3 tons. 3 metric tons.
Oh yeah, how much did each one weigh?
About 17 pounds.
Holy cow!
They have bird bones.
Oh, why?
Really strong, so they could float.
Oh.
They are shaped like eggs, so it kind of works. Perfect balance. They could row, go left, go right. Oh, storm's coming. Hang in there. And they could just.
Like that game you play on the trampoline.
Yeah, crack the egg.
Yeah.
So that's actually
where it came from. We're just on the same.
I know.
Same mindset. Exactly. Well, that's
pretty great. We can tell we're cut from the same cloth. So. But yeah, so we don't know a lot about the culture because a lot of it has been lost to history. The boats.
I'm hiding it in the basement.
There's still. We have a basement?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's where you keep the bodies. I meant that's the carcasses.
The hotties.
The hotties?
The hot toddies. We like to sip on hot toddies.
Yeah.
When we have a cold. It's good for your throat.
That's where you keep the corpses. I meant the people who have lost their life to you. I meant
what are they called?
They're called
unalived.
trees. Unalived. Or the trees. You plant your trees down there. It's a little greenhouse.
Arboretum.
You got your compost bin that's the size of that can fit roughly 6 body bags, as you've learned from
body bags.
Body bags.
That's what they're called.
It's like one of those big bags of soil at the market.
Yes.
It's like we've created a term on our own. That they're
In
called body
theory,
bags.
you could fit a body in there.
In theory,
That's just what they're.
we don't know.
That's right.
And since you only eliminate $100 from our bank account every 6 months for the new dirt,
Dirt.
in the compost,
Worm food.
it doesn't. Yeah, that's how it all composts because we compost the dirt into more dirt because we're worried that dirt isn't quite clean enough. The ones that they sell at the market, because we know the Earth is flat. We know World War I was not real, and we know that Walmart is not selling you real dirt.
And
just kidding, Walmart could use a sponsor.
Sure. And also, the Jerry Lewis telethon was an inside job.
What's that?
Oh, I'll tell you. That's some more fake history to tell you.
Okay. Yeah, I get fake history and real history mixed up because I'm always getting.
It's just I am just
You're always telling me.
Flood of knowledge and information. So we have to every once a week we get together in the basement and talk around the body bag about what's real news and what's fake news.
Tucker, well, you may call it the body bags for their purpose, but we call it the bonfire.
Bonfire. That's right. Yes. Exactly. The bonfire. So we don't. There's not bonds in the fire. It's like nutsack.